My mic on. Can you hear me? Hi, TEDx. Who knew a chef could have his own model runway show? God is good. Anyway, Femi has introduced me. My name is Chef Fregz, and such an honor to be here. Okay, you can't hear me? Can you hear me? Some. Who recognizes what's on the tray? This is a leg of lamb. It's from New Zealand, apparently. Growing up as a kid, I used to be way bigger than this. And it's because I evidently love food. But I started asking myself, how do you cook food? How do you make it awesome? When you grew up with a mother who, her pamostue was amazing, you had an auntie who hosted parties, invited hundreds of people, didn't have any caterers, you kind of questioned yourself, like, how does this magic happen in the kitchen? Passion for food happened at 10, and growing up, when I started mucking around watching BBC Food Channel, when internet is finally around and accessible, you're on Google a lot, Yahoo that time apparently, and you're researching, and as a young man, you're just consumed by the thought of cooking. When it was time, as a Nigerian child, you have to go to school, you have to pass, confess. If you don't confess, at least second, third. Well, I was never an A student. Well, I was in an A class, but it was called average. So back then I was average. I used to come 58 out of 100 and something. And there was this joke my aunt and I had. My usual position, yes, that was it. And when you still leave school and you go to university, get a degree, it's kind of difficult to tell your family, your parents, and people around you that, you know what, I want to fry chicken for a living, right? So, but I think my family saw that from a very young age, this guy was not only eating food, he was cooking it. People always wanted to, my uncles would come, oh, can you make us pancakes? Can you do this? Can you do that? So when I wanted to go to culinary school, everybody showed their support. And at that time, going to culinary school was something I thought would never happen to me, but the opportunity came, and I, went. I'm sure you're wondering, what does this story have to do with this juicy piece of lamb that somebody here is praying and hoping that maybe at the end of my talk, I'll be like, okay, there's one lucky winner, I'll come and cook this for you. That may happen. I have a video I've done today, and as it plays, I'll explain to you my passion for food and, it's one life lesson. Please can the video play? Yes. So I've titled My Life, My Leg of Lamb. A leg of lamb is like your leg, really tough muscle. It's fleshy, but it's tough. If you sear this like a fillet of beef and you try and eat it, it's going to be really disgusting. And you can see I'm toasting some spices. You need to understand in life that I was preparing myself. In the beginning stages when I was watching the Food Network and getting all the info of the internet, going to culinary school, that was kind of my prep stage. And you can see I'm toasting some coriander, some cumin, stuff that will give this leg of lamb even more flavor. I needed to add to myself. My passion was not enough. I needed to gain knowledge. Then, yeah, that's some rock salt happening there. And you'll see as the video goes on that I'm adding a few more aromatics to the dish. I'm putting some carrots, I'm putting some garlic, get some fresh herb. That's the stock pot. That's the lamb is going to go in, then go into a roasting pan, and it's going to braise in the oven. Now, the word braise, I'm sure many of us have gone to restaurants and you see the word braise, right? Have you ever wondered what braising is? Braise is simply just to leave usually piece of meat in a liquid and cook for a really long period of time, usually covered, but you may choose not to cover it. Now, the braising period is something I've had to experience in my own life. I've had to wait for so many good things to come my way. Sefi Atta wrote a novel called Everything Good Will Come. And you know in life they tell you good things come to those who wait. But some people will argue that no, if the dog that is waiting for the biggest bone, all the other dogs will eat it and. But truly I think it's a case of what side of the coin you're on. And I think on the side of the coin that has said, I have to wait for the great things to come to me. I'm a really young guy, but I've been privileged to touch really great things because I know I put in my spices right. I'm shredding some fresh thyme, some rosemary over there, making sure I'm putting the essentials for my life, for my cooking life, my chef life. Before my friends will tell me, oh, you're so celebrated, you're so popular. But when the applause dies, what happens? When I'm not speaking on TEDx, what happens? When I'm not in a magazine, when I'm not on TV, who am I? Am I still that same 10-year-old boy who just wanted to learn how to cook scrambled egg and fry the whole egg and took it apart with a fork and knife till his father showed him how to do it and he perfected it and was even better than his dad? After all the glitz, after all the glamour of being celebrated, am I still passionate? When the applause dies, and you know human beings, they celebrate you with their hands and with their same mouths and hands will bring you down. But I mean this because I'm first passionate about it. Whether the cameras are rolling, whether you're here, whether you're not, I will speak, talk, sleep food. And this leg of lamb, braising it, making sure that it's taking time to absorb all that heat in the oven, is a period where when you're waiting sometimes, you can also fail. Things may not go the way you plan. You may think it was in the oven long enough, you bring it out, it's still inedible, it's still raw a bit inside. I remember a few Christmases ago, I got my first big gig. I think that gig was like 150K. That was major for me. And I messed everything up. Even jollof rice was bad. I mean, who screws up jollof rice? Jollof rice is my favorite thing in the world to eat. But it was bad. The salad, I forgot to chill it, so it was rotting by the time we got to the venue. It was just a hot mess. Even now, after culinary school, after so many things, I got my finger cooked at an event and it wasn't the greatest dinner party. And I had done better. So sometimes, even when you're in your waiting stage, in your braising period, you put the right spices. Now, what's happening there is I'm searing the meat. I'm cutting some aromatics, carrots to give extra flavor. What if sometimes you may cut your finger, sometimes you may over-season, sometimes at these stages you may just get it wrong. What do? It's okay to start over. It's okay to reassess. It's okay to pull yourself back together. It's okay to say, what I did was whack, but I'm not a failure. I just didn't prepare well enough, and that time, things went wrong. So I've had to, I don't know, what's the word? I've had to just always reinvent myself to myself. With each job, with each accolade, with each failure even, I've told myself that is yesterday. That's behind me. I need to keep raising a little longer because I need to come out the best. I need to, I'm not even competing with anybody. I'm competing with myself. My friend Charles Obienu, he's a fashion and just an amazing guy. He would say, I told him something, and I said, oh, Charles, I want to be able to do push-ups. Yes, I can do push-ups now. I want to be able to do push-ups like you. I want to be able to do all these awesome fitness things that you do. And he said, you know what? Don't compete with me, compete with yourself. If you can do 3 now, you can do 4 tomorrow. If you can do 4 now, you should be able to do 5 tomorrow. So with cooking and with life, I've had to just learn how to be better, to always be in that oven, learning how to just making sure that I'm braising properly and cooking, I'm just improving myself, making sure that in that period of waiting, I'm not just arms, together and looking, thinking. No, at that time, I'm boiling with more ideas. I'm boiling with more ways to take it to the next level. Now the lamb is in the oven. I've been talking about braising period, and so that's the time when it gets there. So now, this is ready. It took like 4 hours to cook. at 200 degrees Celsius. So again, family style, wasn't trying to be too chefy. Spooned over some juices from the roasting juices. I used some port wine. I'm sure you pour in some wine. Port wine is a sweet that I felt would go well with the lamb, and it did. Some spring onion for an onion bite. Is this working? Okay, good. So some vegetables. Who's hungry? So some vegetables happening there, and yeah, pretty much the deliciousness happens after you've waited. The awesomeness happens after you've waited, and during your waiting period, you just need to pull together each time. So pretty much, yeah, cutting through, you can see the pinkness, and that lamb was juicy. I didn't eat too much that night, I promise. So this has been, I hope you've, kind of understood what I tried to pass across, and thank you. I'm tempted to give away this lamb, but I don't know. I think I have an event I want to use it for, so it will be cheaper for me. So I really want to appreciate everyone for taking time out to listen to me. And this has been my life, my wrap of lamb. I'm passionate about life. I'm passionate about food, and I'm passionate about always being better than what I was yesterday. Thank you very much.
Another round of applause for Chef Fregz. We asked him to stay after his talk so he could give us some insight into how he liked food. Tell us some more about
I just learned that waiting is something that you need to do for the best things to really happen. And when you have a beautiful piece of leg of lamb like this, it's also like your own life. Your own life is awesome, it's amazing, but if you don't learn how to handle situations and wait for the awesome things to come, you're just going to get it wrong. So if, like I said, if you just put this on fire for 5-10 minutes, it will color on the outside, but inside will be messy. So with your life too, if you brush over a few things, think, oh, I put salt, I put this, I've gone to school, I've done that, you don't put in the extra work and all that, you look good on the outside, but on the inside, you're raw and inedible.
So tell me, is this only for leg of lamb, or can I do it for chicken or fish?
Even with chicken, funny enough, with chicken will cook quickly, but let me get all chefy. I've always heard of the term confit. Confit is French cooking technique where you put protein in fat, usually duck. Duck confit is the original thing, and you put it in oil and cook at a low temperature for forever. And by the time it comes out, your chicken is like butter. It's the most amazing thing in the world. So yeah.
So literally, you can learn life lessons from when you cook. It's a metaphor for life. Cooking is a metaphor.
Cooking for me is my life. It's not even just now a metaphor anymore. Like, it's tough to separate what I do from my everyday thing. So I sometimes I try not to talk to people because before I know it, I've turned it into a food conversation, and people are like, "Dude, you're speaking Spanish now. I don't speak Spanish," so it happens.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, man.